Although George VI's message from 1951 was broadcast over the radio instead of television, many of his points remain relevant today. "When times are tough, it's our friends' understanding and assistance that we value the most," he said. "At Christmas, we place a premium on the simple pleasures of daily life. Nothing has changed on the inside, no matter how much it may look like it on the outside. Those are challenging and crucial times," to use his words. The year 2018 will be remembered for the unrest that characterized it. There was sadness even in June's jubilant Platinum Jubilee. The pivotal change had started, though. Many occasions were missed where the Queen was expected to appear. And then September came along, and death was unlike any other month before or since. British monarchy ended after its longest period of rule ever. Numerous people like us can trace our identities back to the final years of the long post-war era. This marks the start of a new and difficult period of national reflection. After his mother's death and a heartfelt speech to the nation the night before, the new king didn't speak to the people again until Christmas Day. Important because he can give us an update on his progress, outline his plans for the coming year, and talk about his coronation plans for May 6. Furthermore, he will have the chance to establish his own unique aesthetic for the next reign. However, the transmission will not be easy. He'll miss his mom a lot. All of us have grown to rely on the Queen's reassuring words of comfort, and we will miss them greatly. She is truly an incredibly tough act to replicate. In her final Christmas speech, Queen Elizabeth II mentioned that her late husband, Prince Philip, would not be able to join the family for the holiday celebrations. Sadly, she is now dead as well. However, I am confident that the new king will take his time and do things his way. He showed off his political chops during the Jubilee celebrations. Without his mother there, he expertly led the trooping of the colour ceremony. But as soon as the Queen stepped out onto the balcony, the spotlight shifted away from him and onto her. It was a time of transition, but everyone managed it with grace and maturity. This year's Christmas celebration will take place in Sandringham, the residence the Queen gave to the King many years ago. The name Sandringham is significant. Charles was present at the death of his grandfather, George VI. He still has vivid memories of him. George VI's humble demeanor and ability to earn the nation's respect during his brief but trying reign will be greatly admired by the new monarch. Her father's methods and his memory were held in the highest regard by the Queen. She aimed to be an admirable daughter to him so that, should they meet again in the afterlife, he would agree that she did the best she could have. This was a central tenet of her worldview. George VI, as well as continuity, will be high on his grandson's mind as he prepares for the next year's major event, his coronation. As for the ceremony itself, I pray the courtiers don't make it too easy. There must be a formal ceremony to establish a hereditary king as a legitimate monarch under the Constitution. The performance will be monumental. Britain will be back in the international spotlight as this event is being broadcast live on television around the world. When the Queen lay in state for her funeral, a long line of people formed to pay their respects. It was remarkable to see how wholeheartedly the British people had embraced the monarchy's customs. Although many people in 21st-century Britain initially dismissed these rituals as irrelevant, they eventually proved to be a unifying and comforting force for many. Charles must be wary of making drastic changes too quickly. He, without a shadow of a doubt, understands the gravity of his position and the significance of the heritage into which he was born. With any luck, the upcoming coronation will be executed with the same level of splendor as its predecessors. It could and probably should be a time of unity in the midst of these politically and economically trying times. That 1951 plan's overarching goal was to bring the country together. King George VI made the following observation: "We belong to a very large international family of countries. Even though we don't always agree, we've learned that arguing isn't necessary to express our views. Perhaps all we can give the world right now is the example of tolerance and understanding that unites the many different countries that make up the British Commonwealth." George VI concluded by thinking about the missing ones from the family circle, an idea that is both poignant and timely. By young men, he primarily had in mind those who were serving in foreign wars and commercial endeavors. Even though they were closer, he still had to endure the difficult years that the war and its aftermath brought. He had to deal with the aftereffects of his brother's abdication and the interference of his predecessor, the Duke of Windsor. Over the past few days, despite the home team's best efforts, it has become abundantly clear that the new king's family is also fractured. Harry and Meghan's lavish home in Montecito, California, has been the source of venomous insults, but Charles and the royal family have remained unfazed. Recent sightings of the royal family include members singing Christmas carols in the snow at Westminster Abbey. The purpose of these spectacles is to usher in the new Caroline age and put an end to the current upheaval. After years of COVID restrictions and worries, this is a chance for families everywhere to come together and celebrate more freely, despite the fact that the problems we currently face, especially the cost of living crises, are extremely serious in their own right. The loss of our Queen has caused us to seek solace from our King. A message of peace and optimism can be subtly delivered during the Christmas program. It's vitally important in today's uncertain, brand new world. Do you agree with Charles' plan to unite the country for Christmas? Please share your opinions in the space provided below. We sincerely trust that this video has been informative for you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel. To all who have watched this newsletter, thank you very much and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.